This begins Chapter 3, Lesson 5, dealing with solving two-step equations. But before we get into that, let's see what you remember from Lesson 4. So you're going to solve this problem using the work backwards strategy. Miguel spent $6 on fast food, then he spent $3 on ice cream. After buying some comics, he had $9 left, which was 1/3 of what he had to start with. How much money did Miguel have to start with? Is it A, $18, B, $27, C, $54, or D, $36? And your answer is? So now solve this problem using the work backwards strategy. Curtis paid $80 on the vet bill for his dog. Then the vet charged him $40 more for his dog's medication. If he now owes the vet $120, what was the starting balance on his bill? Is it A, $160, B, $80, C, $200, or D, $240? And the answer is $160. Alright, now solve this problem using the work backwards strategy. A number is divided by 3. Then 5 is added to the quotient. After subtracting 2, the result is 10. What is the number? Is the number A, 25, B, 16, C, 18, or D, 21? The nice thing with having 4 options is you can try all 4 of them and see which one works. And your answer is 21. Alright, so now Dexter and Rashada shared a pizza. Dexter ate 3 more than twice as many pieces as Rashada, who ate 3 pieces. If there are 4 pieces left, how many pieces were there initially? Is it A, 16, B, 15, C, 12, or D, 8? I don't think it's D. And your answer is 16. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to solve two-step equations. So the first vocabulary is, what is this two-step equation? Well, a two-step equation is one where you've got, let's say, 2 different kinds of operations in the same equation. So you can have an addition and a multiplication, you can have subtraction and division, you could have addition and then subtraction, or subtraction and then division. There's just lots of different combinations you can have with those two-step equations. So now what we're going to do is we're going to solve a two-step equation. So here we have 4x plus 3 equals 19. Now the one thing I want to do is, my number one objective always is to get the variable by itself. So I want to isolate x by itself. The first thing to do that though is I'm going to get rid of this 3. So I have my original equation. I'm going to subtract 3 on each side, because that we know we can do that because we won't change the validity of our statement. And then I'm left with 4x is equal to 16. I do divide by 4. And I'm left with x is equal to 4. And I can check it by plugging in 4 in the place of x. So if I take my original equation and I substitute 4 in the place of x and then I solve it out, it ends up being true, so I know that my answer is correct. So now here I have 3t minus 7 is equal to 14. Then I want you to check your solution. Remember, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to add 7. And if you go about that way, it should be easier to find. So answer A, 7/3, B, 7, C, 18, or D, 24. And your answer is? Alright, so now we're going to do 6 plus 5y is equal to 26, and then check our solution. First thing I'm going to do is write my original equation, and so when your homework should be looking like, you should be writing down the original equation and solving as you go. Subtract 6 on both sides. I'm going to be left with 5y is equal to 20. Then I'm going to divide by 5. And I'm going to have y is equal to 4. If you are not writing, you don't have to write the words, but if you're not writing the numbers, then you're not doing the work. And you're just going to get it marked wrong. Because you can look at the back of the answer, the answer's in the back of the book to find the right answer. So your answer is 4. So we can substitute 4 in the place of y, and we can solve it out, and we know that it is correct. So now we're going to solve 4 plus 2w is equal to 18, and then check our solution. first thing you're going to want to do is subtract 4. It's the answer A4, B5, C6, or D7. And your answer is? So now we're going to solve negative 3c plus 9 is equal to 3 and check our solution. First thing we're going to do is write the equation. Then we're going to subtract 9 on both sides, leaving us with a negative 3c is equal to a negative 6. Then we're going to divide by negative 3, and c is 2. So we'll go back and check our work, substitute 2 in the place of c, and it works out to be true. So now solve a negative 8k plus 7 is equal to 31, and then check your solution. If you're catching on right now, you're always going to do your addition or subtraction part first. It's the answer A, negative 3, B, negative 1, C, 3, or D, 7. And your answer is? So now we're going to do 0 is equal to 6 plus 3t and check our solution. Same thing, we're going to subtract 6 on both sides, leaving us with 3t is equal to a negative 6, divide by 3, and t is equal to negative 2. If you notice they're working out evenly, don't be surprised about that. So then you can go through, check it, and solve it, and it works out to be true. Now we're going to solve 0 is equal to a negative 4x plus 32 and check our solution. Is it A, negative 8, B, 2, C, 8, or D, 16? And your answer is? Alright, so just to review, to solve a two-step equation, you're going to undo the addition or subtraction first, then you're going to undo the multiplication or division. So here's an example, a real-world example of solving these two-step equations. There are 76,000 acres of state parkland in Georgia. This is 4,000 acres more than 3 times the number of acres in the state of parkland in Mississippi. So how many acres of state parkland are there in Mississippi? So we know that 3 times the number of acres of state of parkland in Mississippi plus 4,000 equals the 76,000. So we're going to let m equal our variable. So 3m plus 4,000 is going to be equal to 76,000. So now that we've got our equation, that's 9/10 of the battle. Subtract 4,000 on each side. 3m is going to be equal to 72,000. Divide it out. M is equal to 24,000. So we know that there are 24,000 acres of state parkland in Mississippi. So Matthew had 64 hits during last year's baseball season. This was 8 less than twice the number of hits Gregory had. How many hits did Gregory have during last year's baseball season? Is it A, 16 hits, B, 36 hits, C, 56 hits, or D, 72 hits? Make sure you pause the video and solve it out. And your answer is B. And that concludes